Good morning, friends. Uh, as you all of you aware about that, for current academic year, we have to start our teaching learning process by using online mode, right? So this is attempt to start this online mode sessions. So, as all of you aware about that, okay, your first year examination is not going to be held according to the MSBT schedule, and you are proposed to be uh, elevated to your next or higher level, that is from a first year to second year. So now this is a time to start our academic year for the 2021, right? And as per the MSBT curriculum, you have to undergo the treatment of various courses under semester 3 examination. So for the semester 3 of diploma in computer engineering, this is the curriculum copy which is present, or which is you are identifying on your screen, and it contains 5 different courses starting with object oriented programming using C++, then data structure using C, then computer graphics, then database management system, and the last one is digital techniques. And actually all these 5 subjects or 5 courses are very important as far as computer engineering is considered, as compared to the subjects or courses of some other semesters, fourth semester or fifth semester, because this particular courses creates fundamentals which are required for as a computer engineer. It contains each and everything. It contains data structure, it contains object oriented paradigm, it also contains database management. Okay, this is the core part. It also contains graphical components, and lastly it contains some digital techniques which are required, right? So the course which is offered by me is data structure using C, that is also abbreviated as DSU, and the course code is 22317. For other courses there are separate trainers or teachers allocated for you, and as and when time proceeds they also share their videos, lectures, PPTs, PDFs, that is online material which is available, which is suitable for your study. Okay, according to their requirement, according to their viewpoint. And as and when the COVID pandemic will end sooner or later, we will gather for our offline mode of teaching learning. So currently there is no classrooms. Sorry, there are no formal classrooms. Okay, we have to learn, or we have to carry out this teaching learning process by using online mode itself. Okay, so this is the very first or introductory session in this online teaching learning. And you also get some lectures, videos, and PPTs. Okay, as the time proceeds for other courses and other subjects and so on. So now the thing is that I very well know that, okay, this group of students, around 50 students, it is a very heterogeneous group. So some of them are very familiar with the English, some of them are very familiar with Marathi, some of them are very familiar with Hindi and other things. So what we will do is, okay, I will try to I will try to deliver all lectures in English itself, but in a very simple language, layman language, so that each and every one of you must understand it. So language should not be a barrier for us. Okay, rather language is a mode of representation, mode of expression. So I will try to use the simple words, simple language as much as possible, so that each and every one of you must understand it. And as and when required, I will also use your native language, that is a Marathi, so that some terms, some terminology which are difficult to be understood, okay, will be easily understand by you. Okay, so now the point is that we will go through the our curriculum copy, and this, as this is the very first lecture, we go through a curriculum copy. So course code is 22317, and it is having a teaching, as per the teaching scheme, it is having a 3 lectures, 2 hours of practicals, and in total 5 credits are allocated. As far as examination is considered, for a theory part, there is an end semester examination of 70 marks and 30 marks for a PA, that is a progressive assessment. In practical section, we are having a 25 marks for end semester examination, and which is to be external examination. So external must visit our institute, and external has to take the examination, and it also contains 25 marks for a progressive assessment. So in total you are having a 150 marks. Grand total is 150 marks, right? So our study or our teaching learning process should not be should not keeping a focus of a marks. We should not focus on a marks. Okay, we have to first focus on our learning is very important. Okay, as and when learning proceeds, we will all automatically get good marks. Okay, there is no issue with it. Okay, now we will proceed to our curriculum copy. Data structure is listed as a second course, so I will go to the data structure part. Okay, probably it is on the 9th page, right? So this is a data structure using C. It is having a rational, then it is having competencies, and then very important part is the course outcomes. So as you have completed a first year of diploma engineering under iStream, each and every one of you now must know about what is course outcome. Okay, what is POs, what is COs, what is PROs, practical outcomes. You all of you must know about it, program outcomes. Okay, so if you don't know about it, then try to get the information from some other sources. Okay, uh, if you don't have, if you still find some problem, then you can get back to me. I will briefly introduce all these things, okay, in one video or in one lecture. Okay, but important thing is that you should know course outcome, program outcomes, as well as practical outcomes. As far as data structure is considered, we are having a 5 course outcomes. The first one is a perform basic operation on arrays. You can identify this. Second one is apply different searching and sorting techniques. Next one is a basic operations on stack and queue. Then basic operations on linked list. And the last one is program to create and traverse a tree. So broadly you can identify that there are 5 main important concepts. Okay, first part is a first unit deals with the arrays and some introductory things. Second thing deals with the second topic deals with the searching and sorting. Next unit deals with the stack and queues. Next one deals with the linked list, and the last one is tree and graphs. Okay, so if you understand very basic unit, that is a unit 1 itself, then it is all other units are nothing but extension of the extension of first unit, right? Okay, so importance of first unit is very importance of first unit is very higher as compared to other units. Other units are also important, but if you understand first unit very well, then it is very easy to proceed to other units, right? So every course outcome is mapped as a one unit. Remember this particular thing. So there are 5 course outcomes, so you are having a 5 unit in our curriculum copy. You can easily identify this thing in our curriculum copy. There are 5 units. Unit 1 is introduction. You can easily identify. Okay, I will share this curriculum copy on our Google Classroom as well as on our WhatsApp group, so that each and every one of you can identify it, see it easily. You can go through this curriculum copy. Unit 1 is the introduction to data structure, and it is having some unit outcomes. Accordingly, it is having some subtopics. Unit 2 is searching and sorting. Unit 3 is stacks and queues. Unit 4 is linked list, and Unit 5 is trees and graphs. सोप्या भाषेत सांगायचं तर आपल्याकडे 5 कोर्स आउटकम्स आहेत, आणि प्रत्येक कोर्स आउटकम एका युनिटला रिप्रेझेंट करतं. Right? Okay. So now we focus on first unit itself. Okay, it is an introductory lecture series. So we will start from a first unit, and it is a fundament. It creates fundamentals which are required to understand the data structure. Okay. Now we try to see or try to understand each and every topic in a very simple language. Okay. The first point is, what is data structure? Good. I am. You may have you may have heard this terminology first time. It is possible. Okay, that you have heard data structure term first time, but this is not the case. You have used this particular data structure, but you haven't abbreviated as a data structure. Okay, or you haven't used a term as a data structure. It is possible. तुम्ही ही गोष्ट वापरलेली आहे. तुम्ही तुमच्या आधीच्या सेमिस्टरमध्ये ही गोष्ट वापरलेली आहे. डेटा स्ट्रक्चर ही गोष्ट वापरलेली आहे, पण त्या गोष्टीला डेटा स्ट्रक्चर म्हणतात हे तुम्हाला माहित नाही. तेव्हा आपण आधी फॉर्मलाइज करू, काय डेटा स्ट्रक्चर काय असतं, ह्याची कन्सेप्ट बघू. Okay, so before going to definition of data structure, we first see what is the need of data structure. Right? Okay, unless and until you are having some need, you cannot go to define it. Right? गरज ही शोधाची जननी आहे असं मराठीत म्हणतात. तेव्हा आपण स्टार्ट करूया, व्हॉट इज द नीड ऑफ डेटा स्ट्रक्चर. Okay, the need of data structure. I will take a very real world example. Okay, consider a class, consider your practical session at 9 a.m. in the morning, and there are 30 students in our practical session, right? So when you enter into the classroom or practical room, okay, each and every student is removing their shoes and keeping near to the door, and they are coming to inside the classroom or inside the practical room, and they are performing their practicals. Now you can imagine this case. Okay, you can imagine a picture near to our door. Due to all shoes, okay, it is total mess, right? Okay, total mess, because they are not kept aligned. So this particular thing is a group of shoes, it is a collection of shoes, but they are not arranged properly. Due to the inadequate arrangement, the picture is it's very ugly, right? You do not like it also. Okay, this is the very first problem. Okay, so it is a group, it is a collection of shoes, but it is not properly arranged. Now consider a second case. We are having a shoe rack near to the door, and each and every student is coming for a practical session at 9 a.m. and every student, okay, is keeping their shoes. After removing a shoes, every student is keeping their shoes on that shoe rack. We are having a shoe rack, it having 5 compartments. On each and every compartment there are 6 places on which student can put their shoes. So 6 students are placing their shoes on first compartment. The next 6 students are placing their shoes on a second compartment, and so on. So 6 5s are 30. So we are having a 30 students, and all shoes are put properly or arranged properly inside a shoe rack. So now it is also a group. Now it is also a collection of shoes, but they are properly arranged. Okay, that is some ordering is maintained. So this is nothing but some structuring is maintained. Right, this is nothing but a arrangement as well as collection as well as arrangement. Now in case of computer system, each and every time computer system deals with the data. Okay, each and every time computer is grouping or collecting data, but while collecting some data, computer is maintaining some arrangement, doing some arrangement. It means that data is collected as well as it is arranged. Data is collected as well as it is arranged. So organization of a data in a computer system, it is called as a data structure, so that it is very easy to handle it. Why we are organizing it? Because we have to handle this data in later also time. So otherwise we cannot collect it, we cannot organize it. It is not the case. Okay, we are organized the data because we have to handle it in some later use. Okay, so organization of a data in particular manner in order to carry out, or in order to handle the data very easily, it is called as a data structure, right? So what do we mean by handling of a data? ऑर्गनायझेशन तर आपल्याला समजलं, मग हँडलिंग ऑफ डेटा म्हणजे काय? ऑर्गनायझेशन चांगलं व्हावं यासाठी आपण डेटा स्ट्रक्चर मेंटेन करतोय, मग हँडलिंग काय असतं? नाव कन्सिडर अ केस. ओके, one of the student out of 30 student wants to go outside, okay, after 1 hour due to some medical emergency. Now in first case, if that student want to go outside, then that particular student have to search all shoes because they are not organized properly in a shoe rack. So searching of shoes is very difficult because they are not arranged. But in second case, these shoes are arranged on a shoe rack. So if particular student wants to go outside, then particular student can remember that, okay, my shoes are present on a second compartment at fourth place or at fourth position, so that that student can remove his or her shoes and go outside. It is very easy to go. So searching of data, searching of shoes is very easy because they are properly arranged, properly organized. In computer system also, searching of data is very easy because it is properly organized. So handling means searching of data. This is one of the operation. Another operation might be, okay, one of the student, okay, out of 30 student is coming late by 30 minutes. Now in first case, he or she has to remove their shoes, okay, in that particular messy environment. Whereas in second case, if that particular student wants to come inside a practical room, then that particular fellow will get a place or position, okay, out of these 30 positions which is vacant or which is available, so that he or she can add his or her own shoes, okay, in that shoe rack and come inside for a practical, to attend a practical session. So this addition of shoes in a shoe rack is very easy because they are properly managed, properly maintained, properly organized. Similarly, in the computer system, addition of some new data, new item is very easy. So insertion is very easy, right? Okay, similarly, the case of deletion. Okay, in case of properly organized environment, it is very easy to delete some data. So insertion is one of the operation, deletion is one of the data operation, then searching is one of the data operation. All these operations are very easy to perform because data is properly organized, properly arranged. So this is nothing but a handling of a data. तेव्हा कॉम्प्युटर सिस्टीम मध्ये डेटा स्टोअर करणं, डेटा सर्च करणं, डेटामध्ये ऍडिशन करणं म्हणजे इन्सर्शन करणं डेटा, ओके, नवीन डेटा घेऊन येणं. ऍडिशन ह्याचा अर्थ कॉमन टर्म मध्ये आपण जे ऍडिशन करतोय असं नाही घ्यायचंय आपल्याला. ऍडिशन म्हणजे काय, नवीन डेटा घेऊन येणं किंवा असलेला डेटा बाहेर काढणं हे खूप सोपं जातं. डिलिशन करणं खूप सोपं जातं. सो हँडलिंग ऑफ डेटा इज व्हेरी इझी. सो ऑपरेशन्स ऑफ व्हेरी इझी. हेन्स we are organizing a data. This is the need of data structure, and concept is that organization of a data in a particular fashion so that it is very easy to handle. It is called as a data structure. So now the concept is very crystal clear that what is data structure and what is the need of data structure. Next subtopic, okay, inside it is abstract data type. We will touch upon this abstract data type in later lectures or later videos. Okay, now we go to some types of data structure. Okay, traditionally data structure is classified into two parts or two types. One is called as a linear data structure and the second is called as a non-linear data structure. These terms are new for you, but you have used these particular types, at least one of them. Okay, you have used one type out of these two types in your second semester itself, and that type is array. Array is nothing but a data structure. But in case of array, if you create an array for student roll numbers, okay, you have created an array for student roll numbers, and it contains roll numbers of 10 students starting with 0th index up to ninth index. Now you are know about it. What is zeroth index and what is ninth index? In case of array, we start from a 0, go up to 9, right? So there are collection of 10 students, okay, or more correctly, collection of roll numbers of 10 students arranged from 0th index to ninth index. The name of the array is a roll number. Now the important thing is that the roll number array contains roll numbers of 10 students, but they are in sequential in nature, one after the another. So at 0th index you are having a roll number of first student. At first index you are having a roll number of second student, and so on. At ninth index you are having a roll number of 10 student. So this is a sequential organization. When there is a sequential organization, then that type of data structure is called as a linear data structure. Contrast to this, it is a non-linear data structure. When the sequential ordering of data is not maintained. Data is arranged, data is maintained, but it is not a sequential manner. It is maintained, but it is not sequential manner. Some other manner it is maintained, that is called as a non-linear data structure. So you are not familiar with the non-linear data structure currently. Okay, as and we proceed to our lectures, we can identify what is non-linear data structure, examples of non-linear data structure, we can identify it. Okay, so currently you are aware about linear data structure, and one example of linear data structure is array, which we have used it. Okay, so in initial lectures we try to focus on arrays. Okay, there are types of arrays also, you have seen it. Okay, single dimensional array, multi-dimensional array, then you are having a two-dimensional array, then you are using a pointer to pointer to base address of array, and so on. So we will revise all these things which we have seen in the last semester, and this is very important because the array is example of linear data structure. Okay, and then we can proceed to in later lectures or videos, we can proceed to non-linear data structures. Basically, linear data structures is having some examples. Similarly, non-linear data structure is having some example. Study of these examples in detail is nothing but our subject or our course. We have to initially for first three topics, for first 3 to 4 units, first 3 to 4 units, we have to understand various examples of linear data structure in detail, and in the last unit, okay, we have to understand example of non-linear data structure in detail. So by this you can aware about it that tree and graph is an example of non-linear data structure, but we can see this thing in detail later on. Okay, we move towards the next subtopic, that is the complexity of algorithm. Okay, what is complexity? We have to define it first. What is complexity? Complexity means amount of work you have to do it. Right, amount of work. In case of computer system, amount of work you have to do it, amount of work you have to carry out. Okay, so we just brush upon our semester previous semester ideologies. Okay, the thing is that if you want to add two numbers, consider an example, you want to add two numbers, then the first step in programming is that you have to write some algorithm. You have to add two numbers, you have to write some algorithm. The algorithm must be, first step must be take first number, or take input as a first number, then input second number, this is the second step. Then third one is create a variable or assign a variable to store the result. Okay, then fourth step is add two number and store the result in a result variable, and the last step is display result variable. So these are the 5 steps we have to carry out to add two numbers, right? So once you create an algorithm, you can convert that algorithm into a program. Working of your algorithm is nothing but a program. Okay, then you have to write some C program, then you have to compile it, and then you have to execute it. Okay, now in order to compile and in order to execute this particular program, your machine must require some time. That time can be a nanosecond, it can be a microsecond, or it can be a milliseconds, it can be in a seconds. We are not interested in that part, whether it is nanosecond or microsecond or milliseconds. For sake of simplicity, आपल्याला सोपं जावं यासाठी, for sake of simplicity, we consider this time in seconds itself. Now, I will assume this program require 1 second of time to display the output. Output means to display result of addition of two numbers. It takes 1 second of time. For sake of simplicity, I am assuming it. Now consider a second example. Okay. Now we want to compute simple interest by using P and R values. You are very well know about it. P means principal, N means number of years, and R means rate of interest. Okay, जे मराठी मीडियम मध्ये त्यांना माहिती आहे मुद्दल. सरळ व्याज काढण्यासाठीचा आपल्याला फॉर्म्युला लिहायचा आहे. सरळ व्याज बरोबर मुद्दल गुणिले दर गुणिले वर्ष डिवाइड बाय 100. Right? So you want to compute simple interest SI equal to PNR divided by 100. Now you want to write this particular program. You have to create some algorithm. Okay, then you have to convert that algorithm into a program. Okay, once you have converted into a program, you have to write C program, then you have to compile it and execute it. To show the result, to show the simple interest by using PNR values, program requires 2 seconds of time. Again, this is a C program, it takes some time to execute or to display the output. I am assuming it requires 2 seconds of time. Now I can say, okay, program P1 is used for addition of two number, whereas program P2 is used to calculate simple interest by using a PNR values. But program P2 requires higher amount of time as compared to program P1. Right? Because P2 requires 2 seconds, whereas P1 requires 1 second of time. So I can say that time complexity of program P2 is higher as compared to time complexity of program P1. Now you are in a position to define what is complexity or rather time complexity. तुम्ही आता अशा सिच्युएशन मध्ये आहात, ह्या आपल्या डिस्कशन वरून तुम्ही समजू शकता की टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी काय असेल. तर टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी मीन्स amount of time required by a program or required by an algorithm to perform set of tasks given to it. त्याला दिलेल्या टास्क परफॉर्म करण्यासाठी जो वेळ लागतो, जो कमीत कमी वेळ लागतो, मिनिमम अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम, दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज अ टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. जो वेळ लागतो तो म्हणजे टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. So time complexity of second program is 2 seconds, whereas time complexity of first program is 1 second. Similarly, you can define space complexity. For algorithm, there are two types of complexities. One is called as a time complexity and the second is called as a space complexity. In case of computer system, space means memory. Memory required by the program. So you can say that first program requires X amount of memory, for the second program requires Y amount of memory. The memory must be in a bytes, kilobytes or gigabytes, megabytes in that format, right? Okay, basic unit is bytes. So how much memory consumed or how much memory used by a program in order to perform set of tasks, it is called as the space complexity of a program or space complexity of an algorithm. Because algorithm is in turn converted into a program, so you can very you can easily define it. Space complexity is nothing but the amount of memory consumed or used by the algorithm or a program in order to perform set of instructions or set of tasks. It is called as the space complexity of algorithm. Okay, nowadays memory is easily available. Initially there is a problem with a memory. We are having a limited amount of memory, but nowadays As and when there is a innovation in our electronic industry, we are having a enough amount of memory available. We are now dealing with 64 GB, 128 GB, 256 GB, 1 TB, 2 TB, and so on. Our computer system is also having enough ample amount of memory. Also, we are having some other alternatives. Also, we are having a cloud, okay, where we can store our data. It is possible to store our data. It is not required that each and every time we have to store our data in our hard disk itself. We can store data in alternatives also. We can store it in the cloud also. It is possible. We are having a Google Drives and all other things. Okay, so we are having a number of options available. So in nowadays, memory is not a big deal. Memory is not a problem for us. So we are not concerned about the how much memory consume, okay, in current scenario. So space complexity is not that relevant. स्पेस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी तितकीशी महत्वाची नाही आताच्या काळामध्ये, जी सुरुवातीच्या काळामध्ये होती, पण आताच्या काळामध्ये स्पेस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीवर जास्त भर देण्याची आवश्यकता नाही, कारण आपल्याकडे स्पेस म्हणजे मेमरी एम्पल अमाऊंट ऑफ लार्ज अमाऊंट मध्ये आपल्याकडे प्रेझेंट आहे. मोठ्या प्रमाणामध्ये आपल्याकडे मेमरी अवेलेबल आहे. Okay, the key point is time complexity. It is very much relevant because we want to display the output in minimum possible time. Minimum possible time. We want to show the output. So time complexity is very much relevant. So our focus is we want to design an algorithm in such a way that it takes less amount of or minimum amount of time as much as possible. Okay, so in our data structure course, we are undergoing different algorithms. Okay, and our aim is that we have to identify algorithms, which the steps which is present in algorithms, and we have to each and every time we have to identify complexity of that algorithm. That complexity is very important for us, and basically that is a time complexity. So we are focusing upon the time complexity of every algorithm. So we have to learn or we have to understand algorithm means we have to understand the steps inside the algorithm. Okay, and then you have to identify or you have to calculate time complexity of an algorithm. And then we can compare these algorithms on the basis of time complexity. Okay, now I want to highlight one more important thing in this particular session. The thing is that initially when I am giving you an example, I am saying that P1 requires 1 second of time, okay, because it is addition of two numbers, okay, and P2 requires 2 seconds of time for a calculation of simple interest. Now the important point is that if you are writing some program, to sort given data. Now this particular algorithm is having a higher complexity. It requires higher number of steps. It is not so simple as the case of addition of two numbers or calculation of simple interest. तेव्हा सॉर्टिंग जर करायचं असेल नंबर्सचं बाय युझिंग कॉम्प्युटर सिस्टीम, तर सॉर्टिंगसाठी बरेच अल्गोरिदम्स प्रेझेंट आहेत किंवा तुम्ही नवीन अल्गोरिदम डिझाईन करू शकता. पण हे जे अल्गोरिदम असतील ते जास्त कॉम्प्लिकेटेड असतील, तेवढे सोपे नसतील जेवढे आपलं ऍडिशनचा अल्गोरिदम सोपा आहे किंवा सिम्पल इंटरेस्ट कॉम्प्युटेशनचा अल्गोरिदम सोपा आहे. तेव्हा ते अल्गोरिदम काय असेल, डिफिकल्ट असतील किंवा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड असतील. डिफिकल्ट म्हणत नाही मी, ते कॉम्प्लिकेटेड असतील. Okay, so now the important thing is that when you design some algorithm to solve particular problem, it is not possible to say that you require X amount of time. You cannot say in this case, okay, that I have designed an algorithm and my algorithm require 10 seconds of time each and every time. It is not the case. The time taken by an algorithm to execute or to show the output depends upon various factors. The factors are processor of your machine. That is also very important. If you are using some old processor to run or to execute your algorithm, then that old processor might require higher amount of time. But if you are using some advanced processor, i7, i5, in that case, it may require lesser amount of time. It is possible. So time taken by an algorithm, okay, depends upon processor also. So you cannot say that okay, your algorithm require 10 seconds of time. It is not possible to say in that case. It is not possible. Time varies. Okay, your algorithm is identical, but time varies from system to system, processors to processor, environment to environment. It is possible. It is very well possible. ठीक आहे. तर तुम्ही हे पण एक्झाम्पल बघितलं असेल, एखादी वेबसाईट जर तुम्ही वापरत असाल तर तुमच्या वेबसाईट लॅपटॉपवर लोड होण्यासाठी जो टाइम लागतो, दिसण्यासाठी जो टाइम लागतो, आणि तीच वेबसाईट तुमच्या स्मार्टफोनवर दिसण्यासाठी जो टाइम लागतो, त्याच्यामध्ये अंतर असतं, डिफरन्स असतो, बिकॉज प्रोसेसर इज डिफरंट, right? It is the case. So you are having a slow processor, you require higher amount of time. You are having a advanced processor or fast processor, you require lesser amount of time. So we cannot say, okay, we cannot say in numbers what is the time complexity. We cannot say in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. We cannot say in numbers. Rather, we will give the time complexity by using some mathematical model. So we will define our time complexity approximately by using mathematical model. Okay, mathematical model. So algorithm complexity or time complexity is represented approximately. Remember this particular thing. We cannot represent time complexity. We cannot represent time exactly. We always represent it approximately, so that our statement must satisfy each and every processor needs. Okay, in later lectures or later series we can identify what is time complexity in detail and how to represent by using mathematical model. What are the mathematical models used to represent time complexity? The important thing is that our subject data structure is more relevant to mathematics. Okay, in MSc mathematics course, data structure is a core. Data structure is a subject. So it is very much relevant or very much familiar with the mathematics. So each and every time we are writing algorithm, we will create a mathematical model and then we have to define the time complexity of algorithm. So to understand how to compute a time complexity, to understand mathematical models used to compute time complexity is very important. In next lectures, we can identify these things in detail. Okay. So in this session, I have covered what is the concept of data structure and need of data structure, types of data structures and their example, and complexity of algorithm. Okay. In the next lecture, we can see different operations on data structure. Okay. Some operations we have already seen: searching, insertion, deletion. Some other operation we can see it in next course, next lectures, and then we will formally define, okay, how to compute time complexity by using mathematical model. Okay, so goodbye, happy learning, stay home and stay safe.